CI 650.
Whenever I see your smiling face, I have to smile myself because I love you. Yes, I do.
Dr. Ron Zokol is with us, and when people leave your office, you see a lot of smiling faces.
I like to think so.
They come to see you, they're not smiling, you do your magic, they are smiling when they leave.
We do everything we can to make that happen.
I want to welcome you folks back to Boomer Life. It's live on CL 650. I'm Tom Lucas. Our Boomer Life guest today is Dr. Ron Zokol. And Ron is a big, important part of the BC Perio Dental Health and Implant Center. You work with Dr. Bobby Birdie. Let's pretend we're like a bus going down the street. People are just getting on the bus. They haven't heard about you because they've been on the wrong bus for a long time. But I want to talk to you. You have people that come to see you from all over the world, but you actually go all around the world and you lecture and you teach.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Where are some of the places you've been?
Oh, haha.
I'm going to write this down. I'm going to get jealous. Go for it.
All across Canada,
Okay.
all across the U.S.
Okay.
Last year, I lectured in Capri, Italy, in Venice, and in Rome. South America, in Lima, Peru. Where else? Hawaii. Some of the more notable spots. I'm on a lecture circuit in Hong Kong, Singapore next year. Well, just a few here and there.
And this is all work, of course.
Totally.
That's what I thought you'd say. If you would like to visit Dr. Ron Zokol, even if you don't have any dental work done, you just want to talk to him about his adventures, give him a call. His telephone number in Vancouver, 604-872-0222, 604-872-0222. The office is located at 777 West Broadway and Willow.
Yes.
And in Coquitlam, it's 1175 Johnson Street. The telephone number in Coquitlam, 604-936-8244, 604-936-8244. Name of the show is Boomer Life. It's all about those baby boomers out there that maybe some of them haven't been taking care of their teeth the way they should be, huh?
Well, sometimes that's the case, but there's also the situation where people are living longer and are much more youthful in their older age, and they're wearing their teeth out. And as they get into their late 60s, late 70s, late 80s, call it what you with, they are like today's 85 is what? Last generation 65 type of stuff. And we're seeing people coming in their late 80s looking for solutions in dental health that will give them strong, healthy, good-looking teeth.
A couple of shows ago, we talked about some of your patients that were a little bit older, let's say somebody in their 80s and the early 90s. Do you not say to them, like, well, you're kind of old now, why bother?
What a terrible thing to do to somebody.
Isn't it? That's true. No. You're old. We don't care about you anymore.
No, I mean, I applaud people who come in at a senior's age, whatever it might be, and value the quality of their life enough where they want to look good and feel good about themselves. And today, we're going to have down the road people who are living well into their hundreds. You know, you consider where the average lifespan has gone in the past 30, 40, 50 years, and it's quite amazing. It's very, very real. So people who are just in the boomer years right now are living longer than anybody else on average in the history, and this is just going to continue. The people who are coming into midlife may see an extra 5 years or 10 years on average. And your teeth have to survive that if you're going to have a quality of life. So part of the solutions that we have, we take a look and say, okay, you might be 72 right now or 81 right now, and you might need a bunch of work to get yourself back to a real healthy state. And the question is, do you make the investment now or do you make it later? Because it's only going to get worse later. But do you want to be going through that 10 years from now when you hit your 80s or 90s? Or would you like to be stable and enjoy all of that while you can, and not have to suffer all of that work when you can probably not as easily take the procedures?
Here's maybe it might be a loaded question, I don't know, but I know of a senior that goes to her dentist regular. She's probably mid-80s. So you ask her, how was the visit to the dentist today? And she says, oh, it's fine. And he did this and he did that, and then he said this and he said that, and then she sounds like she's kind of repeating herself or even challenging herself in some of the things she says. So if somebody has an elder member of their family and they want to come down and visit you at BC Perio, are the children, the adult children, allowed to come along as well?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, come on in. The more the merrier, actually. And if there's things to discuss and your family are there, often finding the solution, the correct solution, is easier when you have people to bounce it off of that are important to you. And we see that pretty routinely.
So you just don't prescribe a solution for somebody. You actually sit there and talk to them first and find out what it is they want to accomplish?
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about us, as I said before. What it is about is the person and their priorities and their values. We're providing a service. It might be health related for sure, but it's also quality of life, and looking as good as you can for the dollars that you can invest, and us providing that to everybody. Some people come in without limits and financially, and others, and the great majority, will have limits.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, what we have to do is say, okay, this is what we can do. This is what's possible. The cost range is about here. How does that fit into your budget? Does that work for you? And if it doesn't, we need to know that. Let's say we pare it down in some way to find you something that's stable within your price means.
Oh, okay, I didn't know you could do that.
Well, sure you can.
Interesting.
Yeah. There's a variety of ways to treat. If you go to you have a problem, you go to 12 different dentists, you're likely going to get 12 different treatment plans,
Mm-hmm.
probably.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are many ways to skin that cat, if you will. We try to give it an optimal solution without consideration of price, and then pare it back if somebody finds, well, I just can't do that, that doesn't work for me. So fine, then let's find a solution if we can to improve where you're at. That's within your ability to cover the cost.
And again, you don't need a consultation. I'm sorry, we'll edit here. What is it? Oh, referral. And again, you don't need a referral run from your family dentist.
Oh, absolutely not. Now, we welcome second opinions. If you have a dentist, great. We'll work with them. We'll communicate with them if you want us to.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, our goal is to make sure that your needs and desires and priorities are satisfied.
See, I never thought of having a second opinion done at a dentist office. A heart physician, whatever, heart specialist maybe, but the dentist, you can do that.
You can. Of course you can. And the thing is that when you get into advanced restorative or reconstructive dentistry or advanced surgery, that's expensive stuff. Moreover, it's an art form as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been asked routinely, is every dentist created equal? And my routine response is, yeah, about birth. But it's how much that doctor, that dentist, invests in their skills and experience, and how much they work at building their knowledge base and experience base. The more vast that is, usually the better solutions that are determined by that dentist, more options that are there.
Maybe somebody has been a nice person and said, hey, this dentist starting out as just a young person, they've got to get some patience under their belt, but for some reason my teeth feel a little bit strange. Can I go to Dr. Bobby Birdie and Dr. Ron Zokol and maybe have him sort of look at what he's done?
You can do that.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people are a lot more investigative of options today because of the internet, and it's easy to Google somebody and look them up and get an idea of how they're perceived within the community. So we see people taking more responsibility for their care, be medical, it could be dental, whatever, but they're not prepared to just stand by and accept, perhaps as people did
Mm-hmm.
20, 30, 40, 50 years ago.
You mentioned the internet. Do you ever have anybody who come in and says, I was looking on the internet, Dr. Ron, and it said that here's what you should do. Do you ever have that?
A lot of people come in and say, we did our work on the internet, and that's why we're here. And I said, fantastic. That's great. Something's working quite nicely then. But I really haven't had somebody come in and says, you should do it this way because that's what it says on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm rather pleased that that's never happened. I would think to myself, a little short on the brain cells.
Well, it's kind of like Bill Macklem on a real estate show, our mortgage guy. He says, do you want to go and have your mortgage done by somebody who's maybe done one or two in their life, or do you want to go to a mortgage broker that's maybe done 800 mortgages or more? So I think it's the same thing when I want to go to a specialist, to a doctor just such as yourself. I want to go to a guy like you and Dr. Bobby Birdie that have been doing this for a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would, if you consider where the art form comes from, how do you develop the skill sets and the refinement in the procedures that you do, it usually is with experience and training. And that's one of the reasons that we train doctors to take those skills back to their practice wherever it might be in North America or other parts of the world, depending where they come from. We've got people that come from India, from Bermuda, all kinds of things. Peoples that come from all over the places.
Well, I just want to know, when are you teaching? Is it on the Rhine? You're going on one of those motor barge cruises?
Now I've done that. This is down the Danube, but
it's done. Well, we'll talk during the break, and I'll see if there's somewhere else I can tag along with you. Good morning. You're listening to Boomer Life on Smooth and Easy, CL 650. We're speaking with Dr. Ron Zokol of BC Perio Dental Health and Implant Center. 2 locations to help you out. 501-777 West Broadway in Vancouver. 501-777 West Broadway. Telephone number 604-872-0222. 604-872-0222. And there's an office in Coquitlam to take care of you as well. Number 250, 1175 Johnson Street. That's number 250, 1175 Johnson Street in Coquitlam. The telephone number 604-936-8244. 604-936-8244. When we come back, I think we should talk a little bit more about those free consultations. What do you think?
let's do that.
Consider it done.
Canada's only weekly radio show dedicated to the baby boomer lifestyle. This is Boomer Life on CL 650.